What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Battle Birds podcast pre-game live, where we talk about the upcoming matchup. And we here with my guys, Gate City and Philly Fresh. Go ahead and introduce yourselves for the people who don't know. They're tuning in to week 13 for the first time. What's wrong with you guys?
What's up, everybody, man? Some of y'all call me Sashi. Some of y'all call me Gate. I don't care what you call me. Just don't call me late for their important game, guys.
Yo, that man, you know what it is. You know what it is. Your boy Philly Fresh, aka the General. Hey, man, we got some changes going on. I don't want people to get too excited. It's not the mania yet, or whatever the case may be. But we're gonna talk about it. Let's get it, Mike.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that is going to be the biggest topic besides us beating the Jets. It's who's going to beat the Jets. Is it the Philadelphia Eagles led by Jalen Hurts with a sore ankle, or is it the Philadelphia Eagles led by Gardner Minshew? We saw yesterday that Derek Gunn, a guy who doesn't jump the gun, no pun intended, on putting tweets out there that are not true. So when I got the tweet that he said that Minshew starting in Boston Scott is a game time decision, I ran with it. In the process of me doing my live and, setting everything up, we heard that, it's still game time decision for Jalen Hurts. The Eagles don't feel good about it. Hurts wants to try it. We're going to see. As we sit now, the Eagles, whoever let that leak out, as I think Gates said in one of his videos, probably in trouble because they're trying to switch it back up to a true game time decision. And that's what regular organizations do. It's a big decision.
Mike, the Eagles just confirmed that Jalen Hurts is inactive. Gardner Minshew will be starting.
So forget everything I just said. Gardner Minshew is starting. Let's get our consensus on that now. Go ahead, whoever wants to go.
My bad, Mike. I knew you, but I just want to say the inactives right now. Tay Godwin, Jordan Howard, that's a hurt piece. Jalen Hurts, that's a hurt piece. Mac McCain, who we just got. That D tackle that I can't say, Marlon Tulupalu, and Kerry Vincent Jr.
A lot of young guys, and a couple of pretty important pieces that are out this game. Just going to be interesting to see what they do with the design and the concept of the offense. And this is a conversation I've been having back and forth on Twitter with Allison. Him and I have been kind of going back and forth talking about scheme and design of this offense. I do think that there will be RPOs because there's some element of this offense that's the common denominator. You know what I mean? So I don't anticipate the RPOs to just go away. I'm not sold on seeing a whole lot of zone read, quarterback draw stuff. I do think that you'll see a little bit of it because let's be real. They ran Joe Flacco on a read in the preseason. If you can run Flacco on a read, you can certainly run Minshew, but it's not going to be it ain't going the same effect to having like Hurts out there who legitimately threaten a defense with his athletic ability outside the pocket.
Go on, my bad.
Now, when it gets to the RPOs, guys, you got to understand there's three different ways of doing RPOs that fall between two categories. There's a pre-snap and there's post-snap. When you pre-snap, you're doing numbers games, right? You're checking the box and you're confirming by how many people are in the box. It'll dictate what you're going to do between hand the ball off, that kind of ordeal. When you do a post-snap read, generally speaking, there's two different types of post-snap reads. You have leverage and you have motion. Motion is like when you see an RPO glance route, right? It's where you're keying in on one defensive player, and if that player comes up to play the run, the ball comes out of your hands, and you fill the void that he's leaving. Coming at you, right? You replace the blitz with the football. When you do a motion-based RPO, that is a motion-based. I'm sorry. When you do a leverage-based RPO, that's when you're dictating the coverage, right? So let's say go back to the Rager play, right? And I'm not saying that that's necessarily an RPO. I mean that when you have a guy that's 12 yards off your receiver, and I'm exaggerating, but when you got a guy that's playing off, really, really far off coverage, you have a go route, automatically from a leverage RPO, that guy should be removed from your read. You should be leveraging to where the defense doesn't have that. You get what I'm saying? You should be playing your leverage against the defense. There should be a different read that gets made based upon the coverage. I have not seen a ton of post-snap RPO stuff. I anticipate you might see a little more of that today because we got a quarterback that I think is a little bit more comfortable in the pocket from his time in college coming into the pros. We all know that Jalen Hurts was definitely a work in progress when it comes to developing progressions and reads and things like that. So I do anticipate you'll see a little differences there. But I'll be honest with you guys, Minshew doesn't have the strongest arm. He's very much a timing and rhythm-based thrower.
Yeah. And shout out to Ice Ice Baby real quick. She said, Gate is coming across a little scratchy. I think your audio is good overall. I think when you start a sentence, it's just like, I don't know if there's anything on your end that can be done. But Fresh, what's your take on Minshew? And I agree with you, Gate. He's not going to come out here and drop bombs, but his timing, especially if they did let him get some reps with first team, it could be a difference maker in some of these routes that people think are open and Jalen's missing. Go ahead, Fresh.
Yeah, Gates, I agree with a lot that you said. But the kid does know how to find his receivers and he does know how to throw them open. When you look at some of the tape that he had with the Jacksonville Jaguars, first season 2019, threw for 21 interceptions. 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. The year after that, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and he didn't play a full season either one of those seasons. So, I mean, it's not like we're sitting here asking him to take us to the playoffs. We're asking him to do one job, and that's beat the worst team, if not the second worst team in all of pro football. So I think that he can get that job done. I think a lot of quarterbacks can get that job done, but it's going to come down to coaching and scheming. You're going to have to use. You did not use your best two targets in Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith enough. I mean, Dallas Goedert what 2 targets, Devontae Smith 3. That can't go on for 4 quarters. They should have both those amount of targets in the first quarter. So to me, it's got to be schemed. You got to help this guy out. Run the ball more. Obviously, Jordan Howard being out, that's a hurt piece. I ain't hear nothing about Boston Scott. I keep seeing people comment and asking about that. I didn't hear nothing about him. He's not on the inactive list, so who knows? But that doesn't mean that he's not questionable. So when you look at the situation of getting a quarterback that doesn't have the intangibles of Jalen Hurts, there's other ways that you have to use the RPO, like you brought up. And to me, it should be used in the middle of the field, especially against his Jets defense. It should be most of your RPOs should not be on the outside. I think you get Devontae Smith on slant routes. I think you can get Dallas Goedert on fly routes in the middle of the field. And Gardner Minshew is serviceable of doing it, of getting the ball to those guys in those areas. Like you said, he doesn't have the strongest arm, but the thing that we lack with the RPO is a possession receiver. Like Devontae Smith can go up and get the ball. I understand that. But when I say possession receiver, I'm talking about like a tall guy like how we had with Alshon Jeffrey. That's why him and Nick Foles mess so much, because he can just say, go get it. I'm not saying Devontae Smith is not there yet, but because of his height, he can jump. But if he mistimes his jump, it's lower percentage of him getting that 50-50 ball. You know what I mean? So to me, you have to use these guys to the best ability, and that's including Rhaegar. And I brought it up in the post game, and I'm gonna say it again. I would use Rhaegar the way Atlanta uses Cordell Patterson. Made a whole video about it, and I think that that's his best way, getting him the ball in space with it in his hands. He's not a guy that's catching these fly routes, obviously, as we see.
Can I counter something though, real quick, Fresh?
Go ahead.
Whether it was the design more than Rager or Rager, the last couple times we got Rager the ball prior to last game was all in a Cordell Patterson role. Not so much jet streaks, but the little bubble screens and stuff like that. And he caught like 4 for -16. So there's something not working there either.
To be fair, with those bubble screens, he do need to make better decisions. But with those bubble screens, if you're getting caught behind a line of scrimmage, that's on blocking for the most part. It's not like he fell or anything. is that guys was right there, and then he makes a stupid decision after that
to go
by
backwards
trying to
more. Yeah.
going backwards or trying to go the other way instead of just counting your losses. But if you give him more, that's a guy that's not getting a lot of opportunities, trying to make the best of it. If you give him more opportunities, he'll say, okay, I can live a fight another day. But well, he should. I ain't gonna say he is. But to me, this game is on coaching, not on Gardner Minshew at all. Of course, he has to go out there and win the game, but I think that you got to put him in the best predicament to win. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, real quick, my take on it is this. Again, this Jets team is bad on defense. They're in the top 5, bottom category, almost everything, rushing, defending the pass, all that stuff. My brother's a Jet fan now, of course, so he gives me the whole, well, we're only bad because of this, that, and the third. And a lot of it is that they're beat up. And if you look at they went through like a 4 or 5 game stretch where they were like complete garbage. It was some good teams. So the numbers are kind of tailored to that. Just like our defense looked like absolute garbage when we went through that Chiefs, Dallas, Bucks segment of our schedule. So this Jets team, you just want to watch them at home. They did beat the Titans and the Bengals. Again, if we come out and play any type of game like we did against the Giants, well, then any team can compete with us. If we go back to our roots, dare I say, and do things that I believe the Eagles can do, whether it's with Jalen or Minshew, I think we come out this game strong. Here's my take for just the average fan watching this game to see how the offense looks with Minshew is, not that we can move the ball, is how does the passing game work? How does it flow? How is Nick Sirianni calling it? Is it still run heavy? Is it balanced? Are we seeing things done in the middle of the field and deep, even though he doesn't have, per se, the biggest arm that we haven't seen with Jalen? That's what I think people look at. And if Gardner comes out against a Jets team and throws for 2-something and 2 touchdowns, it's like, okay, Jalen Hurts hasn't had 200 yet, but the run game maybe is not as heavy used. But then you got to look back and see what the differences were. But if Gardner comes out, even though it's against the Jets, and throws for like 350, and you're looking at Devontae like this is who we thought you were. You're looking at Goddard like this is why you deserve the bag. And importantly, as a couple of you said in here, if Jalen Reagor, gets 80 yards and a touchdown, well, then you start to say, what? And again, it's a small sample size. We seen Trevor Siemian come in and beat the Bucks. Then he lose 4 straight, and the Eagles make him look stupid. So the backup coming in doesn't necessarily mean this can be a winning formula, because we've seen backups come in for a small sample size and get things done. Trevor Siemian beat the Bucks. It was 7-7 at that time. Then he went ahead and lost 5 straight. So let's get into these super chats, and then we'll see if Gates' mic is any better.
I switched it up. So, hey, can y'all hear me fine now? I switched it from my webcam to the actual internal speakers.
There you go. It's better. Primetime Stephen Joyce with the $5 donation. If Wentz plays the whole game today, we get that first round. That is good to know that is off our back. It's going to be a later one if the Colts keep winning, but yet again, a first-round pick. And shout out to Wilda Beast Davenport with the $4.99 super chat. If we lose today, does that prove that Jalen Hurts is actually doing a lot with the little? That is the other take, right? So Hurts can win from this, he can lose from this, and he can stay the same. My take is, the little things in the run game you're going to see different. Like if Miles Sanders if the holes ain't as big, it's because of the threat of Jalen Hurts. You'll see that it's going to be a tale of 2 ends. You're going to have people rooting against certain things. Me as a fan, I just want to dub. And then I want to assess the situation as we need to go, because at the end of the day, the shield is above all. But this game is going to be able to really tell a lot of things. And again, we got to keep in mind it is the Jets.
All right. What do we say? What do you say here? If we lose today, does that improve Jalen Hurts? Does that prove? My bad, guys. Jalen Hurts is actually doing a lot with a little.
Yeah.
If we lose today, this is bad, man. This is not a good Jets team. This is not a good Jets team. Defensively, look, their defensive line is better than what I think a lot of people realize, but their overall defense is atrocious. Like, there's no loss today, even with Gardner Minshew. Even if Jalen Hurts is responsible for a lot of the movement of the football league when things get stale, we shouldn't drop this game. If we drop the game, we got a big problem on our hands with the actual talent level of the roster. That to me, that would be a major problem. What do you think, Reese?
I agree. That's why I said it's on coaching to me. We thought last week you shouldn't be able to lose, and we stood firm on that. And I still stand firm on that. But you did. But this one, especially back to back, oh hell no. Hell no. Something gotta give, something gotta pull. Yeah, y'all better do something. Y'all better spike their Gatorade. Y'all better do something to win this damn game. I'm gonna tell you right now. Because and we home?
No, we're going
11.
back to the Meadowlands.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's right. I forgot. I ain't gonna lie to you. 11-0. And I don't know if y'all ever did the research. I tried to last night to see if any other team is undefeated against another team as much as we are. And I don't think it exists. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But when you're 11-0 against a franchise, that's just total dominance. And you need to keep that up today. Like,
Facts.
I remember going to Thursday night football. We were saying we was like 6-0 last games that we played, and we was hoorahing and all that, and we got ass kicked. So to me, that can't happen today. You cannot. I don't give a damn if it was Gates quarterbacking. You cannot lose to these Jets, man. Seriously, you cannot. You gotta find a way to beat them. And to me, when I made my video, to me, I understand the defense is bad. They have played bad, but we got injuries. I don't know how healthy Kelsey is, and the
Kind of
defense,
rhyme, bro.
huh?
I said that kind of rhyme, bro.
Yeah.
Get a T-shirt, healthy Kelsey.
Bars. But I don't know how healthy he is, and when you look at the situation, let's not try to act like they defensive tackles aren't young monsters. Like they are, man. To me, I said this in my video when I heard about Jalen Hurts being out. To me, this is on the defensive line of our team. They gotta dominate. I mean, not even give them a chance. Like, not even let them score into the fourth quarter. Like you have to be dominant. I don't care who the quarterback is going to be, which it's looking like it's going to be what's the dude name, Trevor Lawrence. It's looking like it's going to be him. But you cannot. You have to dominate. It's time to
Trevor
get off
Lawrence?
the. Huh?
He meant Wilson. I got what he meant. He meant Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. You know, I always get them two mixed up.
Yeah, it's all good.
I need Fletcher Cox, Hargrave, and Josh Sweat to get off of that milk carton that they've been missing. They've been missing so much. I need them to show up and show out. Y'all have to. All of y'all are getting paid. All of y'all are getting paid, and it's not like you're getting paid a little bit of money. All y'all at the top of getting paid on the team. Y'all in the top 5, top 7. So it's time to show up. Put your money where your mouth is, and go in and kick some ass, because that's what we've been needing, and it ain't been happening. Y'all got no pressure on Daniel Jones last game. None. Y'all ain't even sniff to see what kind of cologne he had on. Y'all couldn't get that close to him.
And he was playing injured.
And that's horrible. And to me, them dudes got to step up. I said this is on coaching too, but they're second in line when you look at who needs to step up. This is defensive line. Darius Slay been outstanding. Nelson just been a target. He's just been getting targeted, and you got to understand that when you got Darius Slay on the other side, you're going to get targeted. But for the most part, I thought he held his own, especially last game. Now before that, he was getting barbecue chicken, but I thought he held his own for as many targets that was targeted to him. The linebackers have been stepping up. Everything on the defense is going up, is leveling up. The safety position, and y'all are holding this defense back. Let's keep it real. Y'all are the ones that are not leveling up while everyone around you is. Asia, thank you for the super chat. Go ahead, Mike.
Nah, but you're right. Think about it. Linebacker play is not the greatest, but it's been better. Safety play has been better. Anthony Harris got off that milk carton. Marcus Epps low key playing some good snaps. The cornerbacks are doing decent. It's the line. The line. You really can't
Wow.
talk about having a good game since the Lions game. But the Jets can bring that out. The Jets can bring a good defensive line performance out. Shout out to Asia Robertson, a New York fan, not the one we're playing today, the one that unfortunately beat us the last week.
Shout
What's
out to
good,
you
Phil?
for the win too, Asia. I don't think I congratulated you on that. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
I know.
Worst draft pick, but shout out to you.
She said, "What's good, guys? We playing with a backup quarterback too. I'm not feeling too confident either, but in all seriousness, good luck today. But if you lose, I'll be trolling your Eagles behind, and I do normally do that, and I don't normally do that. But yeah, you can't lose back to back
Yeah, I
in the
mean,
Meadowlands to the same team, the different team. There's just a different shade of it's blue to green, but they both had problems this year. We cannot, I repeat, not go back to back losses in the Meadowlands, especially when my brother's a Jets fan." And, look, I'm 30, he's 27. He ain't never beat the Eagles in his life. As we all know, 11-0. It don't start today.
I say y'all make a bet if the Eagles lose, he do the play-by-play for the next Eagles game.
Yeah, I was trying to think about getting him on my channel this week, but he's been really busy and stuff. But you know what I mean? It's crazy. Can't lose. He still believes in Zach Wilson. For us looking on the outside, seeing how bad Zach Wilson has played, touchdown to interception ratio, he's seen the flashes from Zach Wilson that he believes once he gets a team around him, he believes Zach Wilson's his guy. He likes it, even though he's shown the high interception rate. That's him trying to do too much with too little, according to my brother. But hopefully he does a lot that resorts in a little today if he plays. Is that confirmed that Zach Wilson is playing, guys?
From what I heard, he's in. From what I heard. Now, Mike, I was pretty high on Zach Wilson in the draft. I thought he was one of the better quarterbacks in this draft class coming out. I will say that the main thing I had was that, and rookie season, I don't really care about the touchdown interception rate. I just went with quarterbacks, you just got to judge the progression of the player. How are they seeing coverage? Is there improvement there? Look at Peyton Manning, man. Everyone thought Peyton Manning was a bust after his rookie year. Dude was far from a bust.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, the one concern with Zach Wilson as a prospect was I thought the kid he dealt with a lot of injuries. He's not a small dude, but he's still a little bit slight of frame. And man, I mean, he busted up both of his shoulders at one point. Man, he had like a wrist injury. Like, I mean, he definitely took some thumps, man, to where it makes you a little suspicious of a guy like that making it through the course of his career. And here's the thing: you can say that the guy's ball placement, you can say that the arm angles he throws from and all that is very reminiscent of guys like Patrick Mahomes. But for every Patrick Mahomes, there's a Jake Plummer. There's you know what I'm saying? Like, there are other tiers of guys that aren't quite Patrick Mahomes, but had ability, but never reached that Mahomes-esque level of play. So that's the thing you got to be careful about with these type of quarterbacks, right? I would even argue the kid that fouled Plummer in Arizona or in Denver that ended up with the Bears. What was his name? I can't think of his name, man. Not Jake the Snake, but you know what I'm talking about. And he played with the Bears. I mean, he went Bears to the Dolphins. Like, he was horrible. He was horrible.
Rich Grossman?
No, not Grossman. Grossman was nowhere near that kind of talent level. I can't think of his name right now. Somebody will come up.
What year Around?
It was I think it was after the Grossman years. I mean, it was in the early 2010s. He played with him. Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Denver to Bears.
Eagles. Like, there's different levels to that type of player. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you do analysis, you're always going to give the top end. That's like when I did Mac Jones. I knew everybody was going to make the comparisons to Brady, but I was like, maybe go with Alex Smith. You know what I'm saying? Maybe go with the safe zone and just I think it's easy to fool yourself, man. That's why I'm scared about going into the draft.
I mean, you also got those talented guys that come in and hit the ground running like RG3. Like, his I mean, I don't know how many people can say they had a better rookie year than him. Like, he was balling. And then injuries, like you said. And look at him now. I mean, he's the third string at Baltimore.
He about to write a book.
He in
Say
Buffalo
something
now. That's what I'm saying. Like now, he just a lost cause, and it's a shame. You know,
Yeah.
one minute you can be up, one minute you can be down. I mean, look at Todd Gurley, man. He was the best running back in the league 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now
That's
he
why you
can't
got to
even.
get your bag when you can, because the NFL is gonna move on without you, no matter who you are. Shout out to Ace
Yeah.
Roberson one more time with another $5 donation. Philly 500 lost a bet to Bad Dog, and he has to wear Giants gear on his next live stream when they play each other against the Eagles. That would be 3 hours of pain right there. That's tough.
Mm.
That's tough. Shout out to
He
Philly 500.
always losing to that dude, man. I wouldn't even bet him no more.
And then we
Like
got Philly 5,000 in the chat.
He lost the belt. He lost the belt last year. And now you got to wear Eagles gear. First of all, you got to buy Eagles gear. Then that's gonna hurt even more. That you got to go out there and buy Eagles gear. I mean, Giants gear, and where do it? No, I'm good.
So let me ask you guys. If you had to fear anything on this Jets team, right? Like if in a worst case scenario, the Jets come out and do this well, like if you look at their win against Tennessee, their win against Cincinnati, which is two formidable teams, and even their win last week against a bad Texans team, what are you afraid that this happens for the Jets to actually come out at home and get a little lead and put us in panic mode?
You want to go first? Because my answer is very simple.
Look, man, I think you get a guy like Zach Wilson, you got to be careful. He's streaky. That's a really streaky player. And I do think that they have talent at the receiver position. I just think they're an overall bad football team, to be honest. Like, you can't drop this game, man. You just can't drop this game. You cannot have we cannot have an offensive letdown to where we just completely abandon the run and get way too pass happy, and it results in 3 and outs and putting the defense on the field too much. And then all of a sudden, this young kid who has struggled the entire year for the most part starts lighting it up because he starts feeling it. To me, that's a whole combination of things that can happen. It better not happen, to be honest.
Short and sweet. You let him get into a rhythm. You let the quarterback get into a rhythm, and then they start targeting Nelson. That could be trouble. It could be trouble. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much my thing. They really don't have too much of a run game, and I think the Eagles been good with that. I just don't want Zach Wilson to start eating us up across the middle of the field, where at times we could be stagnant on defense, and then a couple easy scores, right? Let's just say the Jets get something going on the first possession, and then because of the inexperience, not the inexperience, but the lack of timing with Minshew or something, you get a bad snap, you get a bad, just one of them plays that go the other way and put you in a pretty big hole that can get Nick Sirianni like, listen, we got a quarterback that can throw. We're going to throw it the rest of the game. Because I still think you got to run. This is a bad football team all around, as Gates said. But, in any sport, none more than the NFL is any given Sunday. And we've seen that throughout this year. A lot of teams didn't think they were going to lose to the Jets when they lost to them. And you've seen guys like the Jags take down the Bills. It's just that we are coming off a game that was our trap game, right? I think someone said in here, Art Make Peace, for us to be rolling so good, to crash and burn against the Giants the way we did, because there's a difference in losing a game where the team steps up and plays above their level, right? If Daniel Jones came out and threw for 300 yards, just like, damn, man, you guys stink, but you play good this game. But for us to come out and have 4 turnovers, right? Turnover on down, and to be in the game at the last second to take a 1-point lead shows that the Eagles, at every quarter or every time they had a chance to go up, we shot ourselves in the foot. So that is more, again, an Eagles loss more than the Giants win. And so coming off that, we should be with the utmost sense of urgency, because still mathematically we're in. And I think someone said this. I think it was Ted Nicholas. Tanking this ain't the players don't tank, right? If a team starts losing games and they start benching people and stuff, that's upper management decision, right? But these players still have some type of respect, and to just to drive down the New Jersey Turnpike to get whooped by a team that you shouldn't have got whooped. You're not taking that same detour and getting whooped again. It shouldn't have happened, regardless who's quarterback.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, good. I was just saying I could agree with that.
Last week was definitely a letdown. This one right here, man. This one I'm gonna have to go watch the game somewhere else. I'm gonna end up throwing my remote at my TV if we win this game. If we lose this game, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. And you was right, Mike. That's why other than Asia, I don't people like Giants fans that came up to me and even Dallas fans that came up to me. I'm like, well, how are you happy about that win? Even if we won, I wouldn't have been happy. You know what I mean? But I guess, when a garbage can gets the steak, he's happy with that. You know what I mean? But when to have 4 turnovers and you're still in the game, that's why I said I thought the defense played outstanding because you gave the Giants 4 extra possessions. 4 extra possessions, 2 in your own red zone. 2 in your own red zone. And that's a hurt piece. You know what I mean? But the defense stepped up. They did, even though they did not get pressure on Daniel Jones as much as I would have liked. They still covered well. Avonte Maddox still gave you a chance at the end of the game with a 3rd down stop that we couldn't get against the Chargers when they went for 7 minutes and ended the game. They gave you a chance to win the game after all the bullcrap that you put them through. And we know what happened after that. But to me, that's a learning experience. Trap game, I guess you could say that coming into it, but every week, especially when it's division teams, stuff like that happens. And it like we've seen it all year this year. You know what I mean? Like you said, Jacksonville beating the who they beat, the Bills. I mean, teams just been dropping, and that's just how it is because every team is an NFL team. No matter how you want to look at it, sometimes it's just your week. But this better not be the Jets week. Not this week. It better not be. They better get another one. And they coming off a win? Oh, hell no. No. You got to whip this team ass, man. Seriously. However frustrated you feel about the Giants game, you take it on the other New York team today at 1:00. Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah. Let's do something a little different. We only had 32 minutes. We still got a lot of talk when it comes to this Eagles and Jets game. We'll talk about the Eagles. We talked a little about the Eagles defense or the D-line. Give me y'all take. Like, go ahead, Gate. If you had to predict Minshew Mania's first game, because that's where it's going to be set around. After the win, the other storyline is going to be, is this offense tailored to a better for Minshew or Hurts? What can we expect estimated stat wise? What do you think we're gonna see? Do you see him throwing the ball 30 plus times? Do you see him breaking 250? Like just give me little estimates of what you think Gardner Minshew can do with Devontae, Quez, Rager, Goddard, the O-line, and Miles Sanders. How electric will this offense be against this Jets defense?
So on both accounts, I would say yes and yes, but not to what it seems like, right? Like I think eclipsing 250 is not the most difficult task in the world. You know what I mean? And I also think throwing the ball more than 30 times, probably very probable. But I do think my gut instinct tells me it'll still be right around 35 or a little less than that. I still think that the running game is going to be a very big part of what we do. And if it's not, I think that can spell disaster if we're not careful. I would expect to see something on the lines of like 22 or 34 for like 290. You know what I mean? Like, I think that he's capable of hitting those kind of numbers, having that kind of game. I think this is not a very good football team. I mean, it wouldn't shock. I mean, if the guy gets over 300 yards, I'm not going to be shocked against the Jets. I mean, it's just not a good football team. Like, that doesn't shock me, right? Now, yeah, I mean, if he throws up over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, yeah, of course, man. Like, everybody's going to go like, wow, like, dude can actually play in this system. My thing is always go with a reasonable expectation. Don't set an unlikely expectation for a guy. Like, it doesn't matter that the Jets are trash. Those are still NFL players out there. It's pretty tough to get 400 yards on any team. Like, so I'm not going to give an expectation that the guy's going to come out and throw 400 yards. Like, to me, that's crazy, man. I would never set that expectation for any quarterback. I'm hoping that with Boston Scott being a little beat up, with Jordan Howard being out, I'm hoping we don't see a pass-heavy game. That's my fear, man, is that There's a lot of excuses to give to why you do that. Oh, well, we were just really on Miles Sanders and a rookie. Boston Scott wasn't really himself. We couldn't really implement him and use him the way we wanted to. That scares the crap out of me. That's the part of the game that scares the absolute crap out of me.
What if we are past happy and we dominate? That also will be an eye teller. Well, that's also a point that will be used as the narrative goes through the bye week of, dang, now this Eagles team can win multiple ways once Howard and Sanders and all them get healthy. Just thinking of narratives that could possibly come out of this game, because
it's gonna be a narrative anyway, no matter what. And this might sound crazy what I'm about to say, but you got to do everything to win the game. But if you know that you're handling the Jets and it's like the middle of the third quarter or something, I wouldn't even try to throw the ball anymore, because the more that he throws the ball, it's going to cause controversy no matter what. And these are things that, as Eagles fans, that we don't need to go through anymore. Like, Jalen Hurts is the starter. Minshew, I seen the comments. Somebody commented, said Minshew is a better thrower of the football right now, but that doesn't mean that he's the better overall quarterback. I don't think he is. So once again, get a kid a chance, man. You know what I mean? Hopefully come back off an injury. We got the bye going into the bye, so he got 2 weeks to rest, and let the kid finish the season, because we can't just keep bouncing from. I'm not saying this is what the Eagles are going to do. I'm talking about us as a fan base. We can't keep from bouncing from quarterback to quarterback. You're never going to get anything right like that. You know what I mean? I mean, the Jets did it. The Saints are doing it now, and look at how they look. So, to me, man, I think the Minshew mania, maniacs, whatever y'all want to call it, I think y'all need to stay in hiding. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that it's even a close possibility that this guy is going to. I don't care what he does in this game. I don't care if he throws for 500 yards. I don't think that he's going to take Jalen Hurts' job. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, look, real quick, I just want to say this, and if you wanted to grade and the arm talent right now, you could possibly and probably should put Minshew over just as a throwing aspect, but that's not the way quarterback is fully played in 2021. We see the Lamar Jacksons and stuff. See, my take on Hurts is I like the little pieces I've seen of him, the little increments of him getting better with pocket presence, looking down the field, not being so first read and run, panic button not being hit as much throughout the Lions, Chargers, Broncos, Saints game, right? I think in increments it went up 14, 17, 20, and I don't know what he was in the Saints game. He went down a little bit, and then we saw him throw 30 times, 30 attempts in the Giants game, and it fell off. And there was a lot of disguising, dropping back in zone. And so I was curious to see the response in Jalen Hurts' passing ability. Can it continue to incrementally go up little by little? And it's about assessing him, because not saying Gardner Minshew ain't good. I think Gardner Minshew is what you would call like a perfect backup, right? He's a guy that you believe could come in and win you some games. Not saying Jalen Hurts couldn't be of the perfect backup, if for the people who don't believe in him. But I just wanted to see a full season of him either going up and down, slowly going up, or slowly going down as defenses adjust to him and the running style and the passing style. Because I want to be able to say that we are investing our 3 first-round picks on the right part of this team, because if you look at this defense right now, you can say, well, we're doing pretty good. But when we lose these 1-year contracts, or these guys get older in a year or two, we find ourselves not with the capital we have, and only able to draft one defensive player in the first round, one in the third round if we, mix and match things up. If you look at the offense, there's more young guys that you can say, he's going to be here for 5+ years. You can say that on the offense. You can't say that on the defense. And so I just think that we have to make sure we're spending our capital on the right thing, whether it is go quarterback, whether it is, stay with Jalen Hurts, or that's it. I don't think the organization is invested in Minshew for the long haul. They like what we can get as a cheap backup, but a second round pick was spent on Hurts. A 6th round pick was spent on Minshew. That also factors into organizational thoughts, right? So if Hurts ain't the guy to Howie Roseman and Jeff Lurie, I think Gardner's still going to be here for a backup, and then they'll go ahead and find their quarterback, whether that's a veteran or a draftee. But I just don't see Minshew being given the opportunity to be like long-term successful quarterback in Philly. I think it's Hurts or move on in their mind. And I'm just wishing for what makes the Eagles the best. And it also starts with just putting a beat down on these Jets today. We're getting a little bit long-term end of the season talk because I've seen a lot of you say if we lose to the Jets, we might as well start talking about the draft. And I will agree there. But one more week gives me one more week to talk about a possibility of slipping in the back door thanks to this 7th seed. Pause.
I think that when it comes to Minshew, there's a lot to break down here because here's the thing, as an honest assessment of some of the underlying numbers. I see a lot of people throwing up statistics and stuff like that. The thing is, guys, he threw 4,600 of his 5,500 yards from behind. If you go look at plays of over 10 yards to where he's chasing a down and distance of above 10 yards, it's a little concerning, man, because that can indicate different things. Number one, it could just be that he's very successful on first down. It could also be that he's taking advantage of soft zones because he's 323 of 488, 66% over 10 yards. I'm talking about Gardner Minshew, 3,500 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So, I mean, to me, I see this young man with the opportunity to have a lead, an opportunity to not be trailing behind and being able to pick up potential yardage that's just teams playing off of you. They're playing back on you a little bit. And I can't really judge that until I see it occur. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't – it's kind of difficult to judge him right now because without seeing him in that situation, we're guessing. We're totally guessing. Because that's a substantial amount of yardage from trailing, substantial amount of yardage from when the down distance is pretty deep.
Yeah. And so, again, and this is a team where, game planning wise, you can look at the Jets like, you know what, let's chew them up and run the ball on them. Let's hit them across the middle. Let's hit them on the outside. Let's hit them deep. We got guys. And again, whether you believe strong or quarterback or not, if you set it up right, the deep ball can be thrown by anybody. Even Chad Pennington was able to sling the ball 38 yards down the field back in the day. Jets quarterback, my brother liked, but he couldn't throw the long ball. It should be interesting, though. The Jets are coming high off a win, and they are home. Upper management is probably looking at the Jets like, come on, let's lose every game we can possibly lose. We need to get another pick inside the top 5. But again, players don't want to lose. Zach Wilson did play against the Texans, looked pretty good. He got hurt. I'm surprised he's the preferred starter here because you don't want to keep throwing your young guy out there, rushing him out there when you got a veteran like Joe Flacco. That would have been a fun game to see just because of him being here. But I think as much as there's more upside with Zach Wilson being streaking and coming out here and delivering, there's also the game where we could see 5 sacks, right? Offensive line is a little beat up for the Jets, 4 or 5 sacks, 2 or 3 picks. You can have that defense dominant game where it makes the offense just go ahead and finish these layups. And I would like to see the defense do that. The defense gave the offense last week chances. We couldn't execute. It's time to execute and just start this little baby run for the end. And it starts with down the turnpike, New Jersey. Once again.
Yeah, guys, I got to disagree with some of what you guys are saying that he didn't have any wide receivers. I just have to disagree with that, man. Because Chris Conley had over 700 yards that season. Leonard Fournette was a receiving back for them. He had 76 catches on that year. They had D.D. Westbrook, who had over 600 yards and 60 receptions. DJ Shark was over 1,000 yards receiving. I got to highly agree with you on that in 2019. He had receivers.
Yeah, DJ Chark was a 1,000-yard receiver. I like Chark.
He did throw for 3,300 yards. So it wasn't like he was chopped liver. Like, so I mean,
correct. But see,
I don't think he played every game. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he played every game in that season.
He played the majority of the season.
Yeah, but 3,300 yards and you don't play the whole season. That's not that bad.
True.
Yeah, but
Again,
circumstance, though, Reese, it's circumstance. If you're always trailing, so thus you're in a passing situation. You get what I'm saying? Like that can pad your stats a lot.
Yeah,
and
that was the
I'm not saying the kid. Look, Reese, I'm not saying the kid's bad. I'm not saying the kid's bad. I'm saying that we have enough information to judge either way. We haven't seen this young man with, consistency from the defensive end things, right? With a running game that's getting him into down and distances that are manageable, right? Playing with the lead or playing in games that are a little bit more achievable than what he had to play against. Like, until you can see those things, there's a lot of uncertainty there. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think you got to kind of throw statistics out a little bit, man, and in more reasonable football situations.
Yeah. And like I said, you got to understand that the backup quarterback, right? And this is a proven fact. I talked about this earlier before we got shout out to the 319 in the chat. If you haven't hit that like button, hit it. It goes a long way for the content creators. It's free, it's easy, it don't cost a thing, and it really only takes a second. And make sure you subscribe to all three. We are live on 3 channels: the Philly Talk Podcast, Gate City Sports Channel, and Philly Fresh Channel. Just type it in the search bar, hit that red button. But Trevor Siemian, as a bummer with the Broncos, came in for Jameis Winston in the first quarter, tied 7-7, and beat the GOAT Tom Brady, right? We saw Case Keenum become a starter for the Vikings and take them to the NFC Championship, get knocked out by our Eagles, right? And then he became what you call a bum, right? We've seen Nick Foles start for more than 5 games and look not too good. We saw Nick Foles in a limited sample size go ahead and win the ultimate game. So we've seen quarterbacks that can do it in a small sample. What makes you a starter, what makes you a good quarterback is being able to do it consistently. And if you look around the NFL, all 32 teams, I would say there's at least 15 teams that are uncertain, or at least 12 teams that are uncertain with their quarterback situation that would love to upgrade their quarterback situation, but they're stuck. It's a very hard position to replace because you got to be all-time bad to replace it in the draft. But if you do that, them quarterbacks don't look good the next couple years because of being all-time bad. So it's a sticky situation. My whole thing is we can say the same thing for Jalen Hurts, though. We've seen up and downs. That's what you see from a young player. So at the end of the day, I'm all about what gives the Eagles the best chance to win. Minshew, before getting traded to the Eagles, was never a long-term option. So me as a fan, as a consumer, I want to see what the Eagles believe is a long-term option the most, which is Jalen Hurts, and then see what he can do and get me to just be on the Hurts wagon, which I am giving him every single chance he can take. I can give him. But if he's shown that he can't do it, then we eventually have to figure out the next option. This is a good game to come in and get what we should be able to do. Pretty, we're favored. We're minus 230. Vegas ain't stupid. There's a reason why we're favored by this much on the road. It's because it's the Jets. But we were favored against the Giants, so leave it to the Eagles to say, Vegas, well, someone else is getting paid. It's up to us to handle our business.
Ricky J, I understand what you're saying. The same could be said about Hurts' numbers, but that's not the conversation. I've been very fair in the way that I assess Hurts. I've been very neutral on Hurts going all the way back to last season. You can ask these two guys right here. So I have very adequately explained what was going on with Jalen. With that said, I'm not going to judge Gardner Minshew from the Jacksonville time because I haven't seen enough of him play. I've only watched a couple of games here and there. And for all the stats that are thrown up there wasn't a lot of translated wins. That's an issue. And when you look behind some of the deeper analytics behind those numbers, it's not as impressive as it seems. So it's kind of like I don't know what to make of the young man. I'm not saying the young man can or can't play. I'm saying until I see meaningful snaps, I'm going to reserve my judgment on what this young man is or not.
Now, real quick, I've been on the Hurts wagon all year, and in his worst games, like the Dallas game, like what he did against who else? The Dallas game was one of his worst ones. I didn't like how he played in the Raiders game, and I didn't like how he played in the Giants game. I'm not just like when he was damn near perfect in the first half of the Denver Broncos game, I wasn't going to crown him franchise player. But just like he was horrible against the Giants, I'm not going to crown him a not the next guy. I just need to see the whole picture to make an assessment of what I believe, let alone that's not what the end result's going to be. It's up to Howie Roseman and Jeff Lurie, and you can hear the division there. The thing is this, he's a 23-year-old kid who could possibly get better, but it's up to the coaches to have to say, we are going to be able to surround him, and we are going to commit to being a run-first team and try to make this player better at reading defenses, at not hitting the panic button and not doing this. That is up to the organization to see if they're going to wait for that. I believe with Hurts' work ethic, he can get somewhere in the next 3 years where we're saying, hey, maybe we're happy we didn't let him go. But in the same situation, 3 years later, we could be saying, damn, Philly Mike, you were stupid. We should have let him go. I, per se, seeing where the defense is, I would elect to go another year where Hurts, fix the defense, maybe push one first-round pick down the line, and then figure things out. I will give him another chance, but that is just what I would do. Gardner Minshew is going to be the backup for the Philadelphia Eagles unless he comes out and blows our minds today. Real quick, GD with the $10 super chat. Eagle fans have to be honest with themselves. This is at best a slightly below average football team. Anyone who thought the Eagles would win 11 or 12 games wasn't being honest with themselves. My early on predictions was 9-8, so we still can hit my prediction or a game below. That was my prediction. Fresh, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I had to fix that. I had to fix that light, man. Dang.
You're like, now my chance. Mike's on a little rant. I'm gonna have to get my chance to fix it.
You said what? Yeah. That joint was crazy. It was just shining me on my face, but I'm back now. I'm back. Yeah, I had him at 9 wins, 9 or 10 wins. 10 was pushing it. But a lot of that was because of this stretch that we got coming up, and I brought in consideration of the fact that we don't got to get on a plane again for the rest of the year. And that's real big. You know what I mean? Like when you have an opportunity to just go and take trains and drive and drive, that to me that's real big. You know what I mean? But you still got an opportunity to win those 9 games. You know what I mean? Like you said, Mike, you beat the Jets. Well, you better beat the Jets. And then who we got next? Do we got the Giants again, or is it Washington?
We got Washington after that. That's gonna be a tough one.
So you got Washington, then you got the Giants again, then you got Washington again. So not to kick the can down the road, but I'm just commenting on the super chat that you just said. We still have an opportunity to win the playoffs, and coming into the situation, a lot of that is because a lot of teams in the NFC East are really at the same level. Like not NFC East, just the NFC period, are really at the same level when you look at middle of the pack teams, and we're one of those teams. We're not bottom, we're not top, we're right in the middle, and that's why we're in the hunt. But when you look at our schedule, I think our schedule is better than everybody else that's in the hunt. You know what I mean? So, and then you got a chance to take Washington out, who's in the playoff picture right now. You know what I mean? So it looked like it could be us duking it out to get to that playoff position. But the Giants game was a hurt piece. That Giants game really hurt. But you got an opportunity to redeem that by winning against the Jets, getting the bye, coming back and beating Washington. So you got a chance to redeem that, and I ain't gonna say all is forgiven because that was a horrible game to watch last week, but it gives us some more hope to get to the playoffs. I still think that you have the opportunity. So I understand what he's saying in the super chat, the super Yoda, but at the same time, I think he's wrong. And I think we could have won more games if it wasn't for coaching. And a lot of that is because it's a rookie head coach. But when you look at the Oakland game, when you look at the Chargers game, even the
San
Giants
Fran.
game, San Fran. The only two games that we really got blown out was Kansas City and Dallas. I thought that we had a chance to. It doesn't seem like that on paper when you look at it, but the Tampa Bay game, I thought that you could have played, we coached and played better in those games. But it is what it is. Our record is what our record is. But a lot of people thought that we was going to win less games than we won last year, which was in three or less. So already exceeded that and got a chance to win 9. Go ahead, Charles.
Whew. Mearslack. I wrote those. I wrote those guys down. N'Kobe Dean, Josh Joby, Sine Lewis, and Darnell Washington. I didn't see the game, but I got them written down to kind of review film on them for you and let you know what I think. But no, I didn't see the game. I missed the game last night. I was watching the ACC title game because I'm here in North Carolina. So, yeah, man. I mean, we'll see, guys. I mean, I don't know what to make of this game. I don't know what to make of the whole situation here. I think we got two quarterbacks that probably are never going to get a fair shake here in Philly. That's what my gut instinct says. To be honest, that's what it feels like to me. Is that neither one of these guys
does, other than Nick Foles.
Yeah, like, but I'm saying is like not even from the fan base. Like the fan base, you know, what I'm saying that's one thing. But like the front office being split on guys, and like I think if you reverse the roles and Gardner Minshew in here, they're still talking about all the same things, even with Gardner Minshew in there. They're talking about getting an upgraded quarterback. They're talking about the front office being split. They're all that same conversation. I think is still there. I don't know where that leaves us, man. Like I'm underneath the impression that maybe it'd be a better idea instead of wasting 3 first-round picks on one player, maybe build a roster around the position. that's my take on it, because we got a lot of aging players, especially defensively, that we got to figure answers out for down the line. We have an absolute mystery at wide receiver right now, and I think this is a really good game because the one thing I will say from the little bit I know about Gardner Minshew is that this is a timing and rhythm passer. We should know a little bit about the wide receivers after this game. And if these guys are just up again, outside of Devontae Smith, you know what I mean? We just can't get these guys incorporated into the offense. We get no consistency from Rager. We get no consistency from Quez, no consistency from JJ, nothing from Greg Ward Jr., then I think this team has to be in free agency looking for a veteran. You have to get a guy that can win. You have to get a guy that's dependable. They do not need to be, a Devontae Adams level talent. They just need to be where they're supposed to be and run the concepts correctly. I'm somebody that's a boundary side, what we call a split end receiver. Big catch radius, strong hands, a guy that can get off of the man press. I would like to see that guy inside this Eagles offense. I don't know what they're going to do. I think Nick's one of these guys that kind of likes that Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams type receiver that you can just kind of move inside, outside, all over the place. So I don't know how they would treat that, but something's needed. Something is definitely needed.
So you're talking about trying to get like a Robbie Anderson or something like that.
No. I wouldn't want Robbie Anderson.
No, I'm not saying. I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm talking about price range. And also that has the height. I'm not saying Robbie
Mike
Anderson.
Williams.
Yeah.
Take that man right there.
Yeah,
put him and Devontae.
The kid that just got signed by the Broncos that we played earlier in the year was his name Patrick. He would have been a good pickup for the Eagles, right? He's a mid-tier player. He's good. He can make the plays. He's big. He's physical. He's got good hands. That's a guy that I'm saying, like would you want better? But we need somebody that can be dependent on. I just don't think we got that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. Listen, it's like I said,
he's just not a wide receiver. It's not a wide receiver, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
we do have that guy, but if you don't give him the opportunity to be that guy, he never going to be that guy.
What's the guy's name?
Dallas Goedert.
Oh yeah. He's not a wide receiver. Yeah, look, the Eagles always. I thought he was going to try to say Whiteside again. I thought he was going to push that narrative again. Give him a chance. Nah, that's why I said what his name. We just hitting the hour mark. Like I said, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't. We got 300 plus up in there. It's 12:29. will be getting off shortly. The game will be coming on, and then all this will be put to rest. I think as much as we can talk narrative in a bad way from Jalen Hurts, there could be a good narrative here. My mindset ain't going to be worried about narratives until we got the whole long week in the offseason and all these Philly media, the mainstream media is writing these articles and we got to discuss about it on our channels. Right now, I'm just worried about the Philadelphia Eagles taking care of business against the New York Jets in any way possible. But you know how we end these things, right? We end up going, I want to know what y'all offense and defensive player of the game is going to be and the score prediction. And we might throw a little wrinkle in here because it's Gardner Minshew's first game, but we'll all rock out that. Chat, let me know what your offense and defensive player of the game is, plus a score prediction, and we'll start with Gate since he looks like he got one.
Dallas Goedert offensively. I think this is Goddard's game. I really do. I think this is Goddard's game, man. You got a guy that likes to target the middle of the field. You got a lot. He's not necessarily a great deep ball thrower, but he's really good at the intermediate game. I feel like this is a game that Dallas Goedert could go off. Defensively, Zach Wilson will hold the football. He's young. He likes to try to make plays. He can hold it too long. Where have you been, Javon Hargrave? Give me some sacks. Let me see you plow a young kid. That doesn't sound right. Let me see you get a quarterback. I had to check that one before I even finished that sentence.
There you go.
We had an audible there. We had an audible on that one.
Yeah. Kill.
Yeah, exactly. Kill.
Yeah, kill. All right, go ahead, Giggs.
That's my two guys. You want me to score prediction?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I picked a close one and we lost. I'm not picking a close one today. I'm saying I think we're going to get to the kid, man. I think we're going to get to Zach Wilson. I think he's going to make mistakes. I'm going to say 30 to 13 Philly.
I like it.
Defense, man. I almost had it last week. Avonte Maddox, he could have just held that ball. I wanted to go with him again, but I'm gonna go with Rodney McLeod, man. I think Rodney McLeod gets a pick. I don't think he takes it to the house or anything, but I think he gets a pick. Offense. I think I'm picking somebody on the offensive line. It's Jordan Mailata. I don't think he had a good game last week. We talked about what he did the game before that, against New Orleans. He was a monster. He did not have a good game. I looked at tape. It wasn't good. And those pass rushers are not that good. I mean, they got some over there with the Giants, but he just didn't show up. Not enough consistently for me. So I think that you need to get Jordan Mailata rolling by running the football. Get these guys running the football in the beginning. Get them into a rhythm. Get them into a groove. It helps everybody. It helps your quarterback. It helps the running backs, and it helps the offensive linemen. So I think we get some big hits from Jordan Mailata. But one thing I can say is he one of them people, like, it looked like he like the new bodyguard. Don't play with his quarterback. Don't play with none of the players that he played with, because he gonna get in your face. So, but other than that, man, I thought he had a bad game, so I gotta go with Jordan Mailata. I think he redeems himself. My score prediction, I got 32, Gates, but I got 37.
Dang, I'm way behind on these. I'll start with my score prediction first. Do a little mix up. I got the Eagles dropping 27 today, 27-17. Not as close as 10 points makes it sound, even though that's not close. A little late touchdown for what's his name? Zach Wilson. Make my brother feel better about his life. As we win 27-17. For the offensive player, I got to go Smitty, just because my man was screaming. He was throwing his helmet. He wanted the ball in his hand. He's going to get a lot of opportunities just because Nick Sirianni is going to have that in the back of his head, right? Let's get this man the ball. Let's eat. I got Smitty having a big game. And I wanted to say Miles, right? On Twitter earlier in the week, soon as Miles Sanders said he was ready to go, I thought it was going to be the first game a running back gets over 100 yards, and I still think Sanders can get over 100 yards, so keep that in the back of your mind. But Smitty's going to have a big game. And then on the defensive side, I want to go big play Slay all day because I think Zach Wilson's going to give us some. I think it's going to be because of the initial pressure from the defensive line. Watch Singleton get in there for a blitz. I do think JG is going to come in, send the hounds. Singleton has been decent blitzing. We'll see some of that stuff. But I'm going to go Steven Nelson, right? He gets targeted a lot. And I'm not saying he's going to have the game where he shuts people down, but I think Zach Wilson is focusing on not throwing the ball Slay's way, and it's going to transition to Nelson will get beat a couple times, but he's going to have a nice pick that comes in clutch for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I got Steven Nelson with a pick. Not so much shutting anybody down, but he's going to get a pick. Mark my words. Like I said, 27-17. Shout out to the chat because they were dropping some bombs in here before I got way behind. Way behind. But we appreciate you guys. Listen, regardless whether you are upset about the Hurts Gardner thing, at the end of the day, things will work itself out, right? Can't put too much stock in 1 week of anticipation or 1 week of diagnosing it. Again, it's one game. We've seen other quarterbacks be great or bad in one of them. You can't just base your observation off one game. Jalen Hurts, I think, until the end of the season, will get them opportunities that come his way the rest of the season. Hopefully we're in a scenario where we can win games, or as y'all said, if the Eagles can win 8 or 9 or even 10, but 8-9 games with the amount of picks, with the amount of money, that is a franchise who rebuilded and is on the right track, because you went from 4 wins, you get 8 or 9 with money to spend. I feel good about that. Y'all got anything y'all want to say before we jump up out of here?
Go Birds, yo, that stay Philly, stay fresh, and hopefully we see y'all around around 5 o'clock with a win.
Win. Just freaking win. I don't care how you do it. I don't care what the score is. We're not losing two in the Meadowlands. Y'all can win this football game.
Facts. Just steal it from the Raiders. Just win, baby. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 320 people in the chat. We will be back here, whether it's live or solo. I think we'll be able to go live. I think I will myself. I just got the text message I was looking for. So stay tuned. I'll be live for the live play-by-play. Eagles got to get the dub no matter what on the road. We were doing great in the beginning of the season on the road. That got to continue. Until next time, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Philly Fresh at the bottom, Gate City to my right, and Philly Talk Podcast. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We appreciate y'all. Peace.